Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's about 7:30 p.m. and we're gonna go a little more in depth with the models and take a look on when this heat. We're gonna get some relief from this heat. Some areas are cooler; they have a sea breeze, but some areas don't. So Farmingdale has 80 degrees, but the dew point is up to 67. So it is more humid. The temperature's down. Obviously, they do have a sea breeze. You can see the wind is south at 9 miles an hour. We do not actually have a sea breeze here. So we're going to actually look at not in Mineola anyway, not in Hicksville either, not in the middle of the island. No sea breeze, just north winds here, north winds you could see here. Temperature still in the mid and upper 80s across the middle of the island. However, it is cooler on the south shore, but not that much and not that cool. It's around 80 degrees, 79 at the beaches. Not even that much cooler. Maybe some reading 76, but it's not really that much cooler, and again, that's because of the westerly flow in the upper atmosphere that's keeping us hot, like Jersey. All right, the city still in the mid 80s as well, but here's where things get interesting. When we look at these dew points, depending on where you're located, the South Shore is more humid, and the dew points are lower on the North Shore. You have some dew points in the upper 50s even. And here I'm outside. It's not humid out there. It's not really. You don't really feel much humidity. Just a little bit. It's not that humid, so it kind of makes it somewhat bearable. When you head out to Suffolk County, these dew points are a lot higher. Dew points even lower in the city, mid 50s. So it's drier to the west. You have drier air, but I think it gets humid again once we head down toward Tom's River. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, humidity starts rising once you head down toward Jersey here. You have dew points back well into the 60s in most areas, but some areas still holding on to lower dew points. But most of these dew points are pretty high and pretty uncomfortable. Fortunately for us, we have a little like patch of just dry air that's right over our area here, which is pretty interesting. If I look at the Ventus sky, we'll look at that too, and show you this patch of dry air. So again, here are the temperatures dropping off a little bit now on the South Shore because of the sea breeze. Still, I think this is underestimating the temperatures. It's a little hotter than that. I know it says 80. It's definitely like 85 out there, at least here in Mineola. It's definitely 85. You saw we went over the actual temperatures. This is like a graphic, but I want to. This shows you a little more what the dew points are doing. So let's see if maybe it'll show up what I want here. Yes, good. You can see the higher dew points here on the South Shore. Some dew points up to close to 70 degrees. But look on the North Shore, Nassau County. See, we have this patch of dry air. And I could actually feel the difference even between Hicksville and Mineola. Once you headed from Hicksville to Mineola especially, the dew points felt much lower. So you could see, if we go and we actually zoom in on this area here, you'll see here, well, I guess maybe that's a little too far. But you'll see there's lower dew points along the North Shore of Nassau County to northern Queens into the cities, just like little patch of like lower dew points, which help. They help a great deal to make it feel a little better out there. So at least, even though we're dealing with the heat, it's not terribly humid. Not in my particular area, but in your area, the humidity might be very much higher. You can see that the dew points are much higher. So it all depends on where the sea breeze is setting up. The sea breeze is, because the sea breeze is so weak, it's almost making things worse than instead of better, because it's just much more humid air coming in from the south, and that, and you could see right here the representation of that. But meanwhile, in the northwest part of Nassau County and into northern Queens, the Bronx and Manhattan, you have this just patch of dry air that's just keeping the dew points low. It's very interesting, very localized weather phenomenon. You're not going to really hear a lot of weather people talk about this. You get these localized weather phenomena. That's interesting. So despite the fact that it's hotter here, we can actually look at the perceived temperature. So actually, we could look at that. So you can see there isn't a big difference, because again, it might be cooler out east and on the South Shore, but that's made up by the increase in the humidity, which makes it worse. And again, I can go back to the underground if I want. I guess I will, to show you that. It's just a lot of interesting local variations in the weather today, which are pretty interesting. So we'll look at this again, and we'll go over, again, what's going on Long Island. So let's do that. Yeah, good, nice and close. So see, we have mid-80s here in Mineola, mid-80s, 86, 86, 88. But again, if we look at the dew points, we change it to the dew points, you'll see here, dew points are 56, 59. So not too bad. I mean, not dry, but not bone dry dew points, but not as bad as it is, say, in Levittown, where the dew points are close to 70 degrees. So again, it's about that humidity. The humidity makes it feel a lot worse. We'll take a look at Tom's River while we're here. I'll also look at islip as well, see what islip is. So 86 in Central Park right now. 81 at islip. Looks like the dew point's not too high though. So again, you see these huge variations in dew points depending on where you are. It's really interesting. It's just because there's such a little air movement in the atmosphere, so the air is just not moving around very much. So if you have dry air, then you have the dry air. If you have the humidity, you have the humidity. 85 in Tom's River. The dew point 65. Let's see what the high was in Tom's River. It actually did get up to 92 degrees in Tom's River, which is pretty hot. That's not a surprise. And I'll go back to look at Farmingdale, and we'll see what Farmingdale hit. It probably did not hit 90 there, but I know it hit 90 here in our area. So 88 at Farmingdale looks like it hit, but I can click on an observation here from Mineola. Let's click on this one here. Let's get this weather station here. If we can get this to pop up. Graph. Let's see what the high was today. We're gonna look at the graph for Mineola here. It says Carl Place actually. It's close enough. So yeah, if you look at this graph here, you'll see the temperatures did get up to 90 here in Mineola. But if you look at the South Shore, we can look at Wantor. Let's look at Wantor. Let's just pick a comparison so you can see the difference here. So not that much cooler. All right, Belmore. Not that much cooler there. Just a couple more degrees, and here's the dew point is higher. And you can see in Belmore it got near 92. So again, this westerly flow means not a very strong sea breeze. That's pretty much what we're going through right now. A look at the satellite. You can see not too many clouds around. There was some haze around earlier. You could actually see it here, but it looks like there's a little less haze over here. But there could be more haze coming, and this might be smoke. Well, let's take a look at the higher resolution satellite and see if we can see this, because you can see that we had some clouds pop up, some cumulus clouds, and a whole lot more cumulus clouds over New Jersey. Not seeing too much in the way of haze. So as far as smoke goes, maybe haze just from the heat, because the heat causes the ozone. That's why we have an air quality alert in effect for us. So if you go and you look at the forecast, you'll see on the weather site they've got us in the gray, which means air quality alert for our area, and that's pretty much because it's hot and you have the vehicle exhaust combining with the heat to create ozone, which is, again, if we weren't driving gasoline powered vehicles and we're driving electric vehicles, we wouldn't have this problem. Just another reason why we got to get off fossil fuels. Nothing good comes from fossil fuels, all right? It causes global warming, and it causes air pollution. The combustion engine must go extinct before we do. So let's take a look at the GFS model here, and you'll see here that, again, this kind of pattern continues into tomorrow, and Saturday we start seeing a front move through, some showers, and a weak cold front move through, and then looks like another cold front comes through on Sunday night. And we get a little bit of relief, but the overall pattern is this ridge in the east, which you can see here. And maybe as we get into July, maybe we'll get rid of it, but it's not going to be easy to get rid of it. So let's take a closer look at our area and see what the temperatures will be doing from here on out. We'll look at the GFS model and see. So let me back that up over here and look at the temperatures, because we got more heat on the way for tomorrow. So not going to cool off very much tonight, and then tomorrow, obviously, especially in the city, that heat's already in there, so it's just going to build on top of the heat for the rest of the day, and we're going to see temperatures well into the 90s in Jersey, New York City, and probably similar today in Nassau County is probably going to see 90s too. Not much of a sea breeze. That's going to be a theme for this heat wave. Not much of a sea breeze, and that's what makes it bad. Maybe a little cooler on the east end. We go into Saturday, we're dealing with the heat again, so pretty much a repeat performance. But maybe the east end sees a little more relief, but pretty much but it will be hotter in Jersey. Each day I think the heat is going to get worse. Tom's River hit 92 today. I think Tom's River goes to 95 tomorrow, and I think on Saturday they may make around 100. All right, just because the heat with each day just keeps building up. As we go into Sunday, less heat, cools off, temperatures in the upper 70s. And for Monday, we have temperatures in the mid 80s. And that's close to normal, maybe slightly above normal. But then the heat comes back for Tuesday, Wednesday, and backs off maybe a little bit on Thursday. But it's right back on Friday. So we're going to have a period of hot weather. And hopefully there'll be a sea breeze when this heat wave hits. Because it looks like I see some 100s on here. That goes out to July 5th. We can look at that July 4th weekend, I guess. So Saturday, it's going to be a hot weekend throughout. So it's going to be hot. Bottom line is expect above normal temperatures for the next 10 days at least. Let's look at the dew points. So, see today we had that little patch of dry air. The models picked up on that nicely, actually. And it was over Jersey for a time, too. For tomorrow, we have that patch of dry air again. So, again, we have that patch of dry air. May not be over Jersey, but again, western Long Island, western Suffolk, Nassau County has that patch of dry air, but a little more humid out east. Again, you could look at these wind barbs. No sea breeze. Very light and variable winds, pretty much, depending on where you are. The wind direction will be different. So again, you just have this high sitting over us. For Saturday, we start seeing more humidity and more of a southerly flow. So that means more humidity, but it also means a stronger sea breeze, hopefully to keep temperatures down across Long Island. And then that front comes through for Sunday. We see dew points dropping across the area here with that front moving through during the day. Higher dew points to the south. And Monday, we should see much lower dew points. You can see very strong north flow, looking at the wind barbs there coming down from the north. And then it backs off a little bit, and then we're back in the humidity for next week. And next week looks like it's going to be more of a humid heat, but no, we see the same kind of setup again for Wednesday, with the dry air at least saving us. But Thursday we have humidity. Friday it really gets humid, so this could be really bad because we're going to have a lot of heat and humidity combined, and it's going to be a brutal 4th of July weekend. It looks like, unfortunately. So I'm not looking forward to it, but it does have a tendency. It's not that much out of the normal to see this kind of weather around the 4th of July. It does have a tendency to get hot around the 4th of July. Usually, always does. More often than not, historically anyway. So let's look at the sky conditions. We'll take a look at the clouds. And again, I don't really see much chances of precipitation, so I'm not going to talk about it until the weather update tomorrow. So here's the clouds for tomorrow. Tomorrow there'll be maybe more clouds around than today. Saturday, plenty of clouds. Sunday, maybe we can get rid of the clouds, but still some clouds. Unfortunately, let's see if we can get a clear day. Maybe Monday. Maybe Monday we'll have a clear day if we don't have the smoke. I do see some clear sky over our area. And then we'll have some clear days, but like I said, it's going to be hot. Maybe there'll be plenty of sunshine. It's not going to be that wet of a pattern. If we go and we take a look at the rainfall forecast for right through the next week, I don't think we see much rain. Not much. The heavier rain stays off to the west, so it will be a drier pattern we're also in. So drier and hotter. That's for sure. Our next chance of I can look at the NAM, and we can look at the thunderstorm threat, and then I guess that will kind of wrap up this weather update. So, see, we stay dry tomorrow, Friday. Maybe something forms over Jersey, just from the heat of the day and the humidity. Tomorrow afternoon, nothing for us. It's Saturday. That would be our next chance. But yes, the front's moving through Saturday. This could be our next chance for some thunderstorm activity. Some of these could be severe, so we'll have to keep our eye on it. That looks like a pretty nasty squall line that's going to be moving through Saturday evening that we'll have to keep our eye on and see what happens with that. So I will keep my eye on that for sure, but for the next day, expect no precipitation. But the Saturday evening could be interesting with that front. We'll have to keep our eye on that. Anyway, that does wrap up this weather update. Take care, and thank you for watching.